Well, hello friends, Coach Bob with you today, and today we are doing part two of Daytona Biketoberfest 2023. You know, it's been an amazing trip. So today we are going to hit Main Street, the Daytona Euro Cycle dealership, and the racetrack just before we get ready to go back to beautiful Tallahassee, Florida. So join me as we hit Main Street right off the bat. Man, what a great trip this has been. Grab you a cup of coffee and just enjoy the time in beautiful Daytona, Florida. And if you're cold, grab a blanket while you're watching. All right, let's ride.
All right, well, we are downtown and about to hit crazy old Main Street. Yes, sir, we are. So Main Street, baby, here we come. Now, I would come down here on the old Softail with the big old ape hangers and no fenders at night. And it would get pretty crazy around here, let me tell you. But anybody who questions whether Biketoberfest is alive, I mean, this is a Friday at noon, basically. Let's see what time it is. Yeah, it's almost 1. So Friday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, yes, sir. And it's happening. This place is hopping. It's so encouraging to me to see that all of this is alive again. You know, COVID killed everything, you know. I don't know if you remember, video killed the radio stars. Well, you know, COVID killed the motorcycle rally. And it did, man. COVID did. It killed the motorcycle rally big time. And we came over here, you know, everybody was telling us we were crazy to get out in it. But, you know, we're outside. We want to celebrate the motorcycle, man. We didn't want to kiss on people, you know. And we have enjoyed every little bit of being around as many motorcycles as we possibly can through this whole thing. But to see this revival of motorcycles is just so encouraging to me. And I'm looking around. There's a V-Strom, a Harley, there's a metric cruiser, there's a sport bike, another Harley, a sport bike in front of me. I just passed a Spyder. There's another Spyder there, man. I've seen a lot of Spyders here, a lot of Spyders. Big Africa Twin sitting over there. I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff here, y'all, and it's not just Harley. Now, don't get me wrong, Harley is the granddaddy over here. We know it. It's the king. You know, all hail the king. When you're over here, you got to admit it. And they are. But to see the things that I'm seeing, I never dreamed that I would see. Helmet died, so we're just going to do this. We'll figure all this camera stuff out when we get to where we're going. We're going to hit Daytona Euro Cycles next, and so we'll figure out what's going on with these cameras. Hopefully I didn't lose everything. If so, I'll do Main Street again. All right, well, this is the end of Main Street, so we're about to hit the bridge over to Daytona Euro Cycles, and I'll see you there. So it's the Canadian invasion of Europe is what it's talking about. That's what it is. That is a sweet looking motorcycle. This is the new version of my triple. Man, these things look good. I'd love to have them do it. They are beasts, man. Just unbelievable torque and horsepower. Alright, so I go in here and I walk around and come out, and apparently the Spyder raised the value of the neighborhood, because when I came back, found something awfully special parked out here by me. Check this thing out. Ha ha! That thing does 100 miles an hour sitting still.
Before I get into a big dissertation about what Daytona Bike Week used to be, one thing that resonates in my mind as I hear a lot is I don't care what you ride as long as you ride. I agree with that. I want you to know I really do agree with that. But I always laugh when I hear that, because it wasn't always like that. And it wasn't like your opinion even mattered if it was like that. If you ended up in the wrong place riding what you want to ride, you literally may not come out of there. You may get beat up, or your motorcycle may get burned, or bottles broken all over it and shredded with your seat shredded with knives or whatever. You may come out to the shell of what you like to ride. And that's just how it was. It wasn't just a bunch of internet cowboys talking smack. It wasn't just a couple of people. There were places you just didn't go, and if you went, you got into big trouble. And the reason I bring that up is because, to a certain degree, that's how it used to be at Bike Week. You know, Bike Week started in the 30s, if I'm not mistaken. It was a race on the beach. And you got to realize is that this was a time in culture where we were coming off of World War I, getting ready to enter World War II. And there was a break in Bike Week, you know, just a hiatus during World War II. The time between the two world wars, just within a couple of years of it starting, Bike Week had already gotten rough. They would bring in law enforcement from different counties, and they would come in. I mean, there were times they actually had to use tear gas and things like that to get people to do what they were told. I remember riding down Main Street in the mid-90s, and it was nuts over there. It's just crazy. There were places you did not go. If you ended up in the wrong bar with the wrong folks, you might not come out of there. You know, Main Street banned colors or club patches. It was sometime in the early 90s, around 1990, but that didn't mean that everyone complied. It just meant that that was the general rule. You know, that was the time where Harley Davidson was trying to make its resurgence, you know, in the 90s with the Evolution engine, and Harley trying to salvage itself, because the AMF had done a number on, you know, brand loyalty and that sort of thing. So things were changing. The motorcycle world was changing. And in the late 90s, you saw the surge of the people like Jesse James and folks that made it more mainstream. You started to see motorcycles and choppers and things like that on television. Well, that softened the culture, because what it did is it made it to where a guy could put on a costume, so to speak, and buy a really expensive motorcycle, and he could be cool like his heroes. You know, my brother chopped motorcycles. Now, he couldn't afford a Harley Davidson. That was a rich man's chopper to him. He chopped the old Japanese bikes and the European motorcycles that you could pick up cheap, and he would make some pretty wild stuff. It was amazing to me that the Triumph didn't seem to have that negativity associated with it like the big four. Honda and Yamaha and Suzuki and Kawasaki, you know, those brands, you know, you meet the nicest people on a Honda, that just didn't fly. You know, now Daytona is like the Mardi Gras of Florida. Everyone from all walks of life get to go over there and hang out and coexist and ride together. And it's a completely different experience than it was. You know, I'm not saying that I want my motorcycle burned and I want to get beat up, because I don't want any of that to happen. But I will say that the old Bike Week was a much more purist type of thing. When you used to go, it was folks who rode, and they rode hard and they rode a lot. And the people that you met, their entire world was consumed with motorcycle culture. Now, whether you consider that a good thing or bad thing, well, you can leave comments down below and talk about that. But Daytona, very interesting history to it. It's changed a lot. In the short time that I've been going over there, the very first time I went over there was with some friends in the late 80s. And it was just wild because there were no cell phones. There were no little cameras that people ran. So what you did over there pretty much stayed over there in that little pocket of the world, and people went wild. I mean, they went crazy. And it was a spectacle to see. And every year you would hear these stories as motorcycle people. You'd hear these stories about bad things happening and big fights and that sort of stuff. It was a different world. So the big question I get, are you safe going to Daytona? I would say right now the biggest problem with Daytona Bike Week is that of many, many motorcycle rallies, and that is the inexperienced rider. Or as they used to call us guys, the rubs, the rich urban bikers, the people who don't ride a lot. They come over there, they take their bike off the trailer, they ride up and down Main Street 5 times, and that makes them ride about 20 miles a year. And those people that duck walk back and forth used to be made fun of and picked on and that sort of thing. But there are still remnants of the old Bike Week feeling. You know, the Cabbage Patch and things like that. They have some old flea market type trade shows going on down there. Those things still exist. And there are still places that you need to be on your P's and Q's. And if you're not on the daddy of all brands, you just need to stay away from. The Daytona of old and the Daytona of now are just dramatically different creatures. I'm going to be honest with you. I loved them all. I've loved them all. The one that I go to now, this one, well, it's a lot more mild, and it's a lot more fun, and it feels a lot more safe. Maybe I'm older, and, well, not maybe I'm older, I'm definitely older, but maybe age has brought this part of me that likes the safety. I used to like the adventure and the danger and the coolness of it. Have I changed? I would say I've changed probably more than Bike Week has. Just enjoy the experience. But if you ever get a chance to come down here, you need to come to Daytona, to Biketoberfest, or to Bike Week. It is just a great time. Bike Week is definitely the big boy of the two adventures. All right, let's look at some stuff at the racetrack. A lot of people, a lot of cool stuff. Just groove it, baby, just groove it.
like crap, but man, they look awesome. They just look cool. Now this one rides awesome, it looks awesome. A little Ducati Buscati Italiano time, baby. All right, let's check out the Ravaco, see what it looks like under the hood. $50,000, baby, 50 grand. Bring the checkbook, daddy. They look cool, but man, them things are big, man. They're big. They're like slingshot big. Right, well, the only thing out here, honestly, was, you know, speaker setup, wheels, and a lot of custom bikes you can just peruse and look at that other people had built. There's really not a whole lot. BMW has a booth out here to ride, but apart from that, there's really nothing here other than just, you know, a couple aftermarket companies, Ravaco, and speaker companies. That's it. So Speedway was awesome, but not a lot to offer as far as Biketoberfest. I know Bike Week offers a lot more. But anyway, what I'm going to do
is load up this bad boy and get on the road.
All right, well, you can see the traffic is in full force. The interstate's right there. I'm going to grab I-95 and head north. Just not quite sure how far yet. Maybe up through Palm Coast and head over then. Woo, it's loud. Close this up. Give you a little quieter area here. The thumbnail of this video, I hope you noticed the thumbnail of the video. There's a gentleman in that thumbnail. Him and his wife stopped by, were talking to me about the Spyder, and I asked him to do the little photo shoot with me there as a Harley guy. You know, it's so funny. I mean, this guy, him and his wife were just the sweetest people, just the kindest people. I told him about the channel and told him about Coach Vic being in a wheelchair and us crossing the country, and man, just the way they encouraged me. You know, I didn't get their name, but if they see this video, I want to say thank you. You know, in fact, I may cut this to the very beginning just in case they click in and click out. You know, I want to make sure that they're recognized, because I really, really do appreciate them taking the picture with me and encouraging me and encouraging the channel, just in the kind words they said. But anyway, so thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. All right, well, we are surrounded by two-wheeled, two-cylindered Harley Davidsons. Yes, we are. I've seen a couple of spillages today, only one on camera, that one where we were doing the loop, but I did see a couple of people flippity-flap over. I'm not, oh shoot, I guess I'm gonna have to work my way over here in a minute. Yikes. It is hot and it is tight. There just ain't a whole lots of room. This is the part of Daytona I think that most people don't enjoy, is the traffic, sitting at the red lights and that sort of stuff. It's just part of it, but you know, there it is. All right, well, I'm gonna smile for miles and I'm gonna find somebody will let me over. They always do. People are nice. People are nice, generally speaking. I know you're thinking, Coach Bob, they're really not, but they are, I promise you. Go out happy and you'll get a lot of happiness thrown back at you. That's a fact, Jack. Well, looks like the red light has turned to green. And I'm just going to kind of scoot a poot up here and work my way over just in a second. Looks like this cat right here is going to let me over, and so I'm going to do that while I can. I'm not going to be rude and run up to the very last second. I think that's uncool. All right, well, we're going to grab 95 and we're going to put some miles in. All right, well, till next time, you do me a favor. Yes, you go out, buy the motorcycle of your dreams, eat right, take care of yourself, and remember, if you're not having fun, you are definitely doing it wrong. Now, you go seize the day, and I'll see you on the road real soon. Have fun, y'all.